You think the first part of this year, despite being bullish for the whole year, could be a little bit skimpy in terms of return.
Bitcoin drops under 39,000 as the ETF debut continues to be a sell the news event.
Yes, Brian.
And BTC was down nearly 5% in the last 24 hours, reaching its lowest level in 2 months.
You were Mr. Bull last year. You were right on the mark about everything, and now you're a little more cautious.
Now traditional markets, like both the NASDAQ and S&P, continue to push all-time highs, yet there is growing fears with the Fed, as well as jobs, manufacturing, PMI.
I'm still optimistic for the year, but you know, in the first half, and we got a glimpse of that today with Fed governors talking about not sure how many cuts they want to do. That's going to make markets nervous. And we got a pretty lousy Empire survey reading today, a regional PMI, and that's going to get people worried about a soft landing or hard landing. Those don't get answered for the next 6 months. So I think it's possible that we make a minor new high before the end of the month, and then we might have something like a 7% drawdown.
And how that affects you as a crypto holder, because here's a chart of the average Bitcoin ETF. This is specifically Valkyrie's Bitcoin fund. Looks like a Binance Launchpad coin. Little joke. Gotta show the traditional market how we do things over here in crypto. And as we get in to who's really dumping prices, who's actively selling Bitcoin today, just understand if we look at inflation. I think the thing with inflation that is worth noting is that a couple of things are true at the same time, which I think is interesting. Well, yes, the rate of increasing inflation is coming down. Inflation has cooled. We're going through the last kind of like throes of some of the random variables still being a little sticky, but the broad trend is down. Inflation's not coming down. It's just the rate of increase, while more companies report layoffs. Tencent's Riot Games is the latest tech company to announce layoffs. The gaming company is saying it will cut 11% of its staff, or about 530 jobs, and while unemployment is slowly increasing. We've now started to see folks come back from the new year and start to affect some pretty big layoffs, and they're across industries. Right? Citibank today just announced 20,000 layoffs. That's a huge amount of people that are going to lose their jobs. So what does all of this mean? It's that I think that people expect that as inflation contracts, the money supply will expand, but demand has yet to reset properly. So that's the last thing. And I think Freebird's mentioned this a bunch. Consumer spending has always been crazy. People living on credit, all of this stuff. That is now finally, I think, the last thing that has to get sorted out. So in the absence of demand, back to the way you started, Jason, companies will cut expenses in order to maintain profitability because they don't really want to cut prices unless your product really sucks. So now understanding macro, and by the way, click the like button to support me, lets me know you're getting value out of today's video. But wow, SBF just crashed Bitcoin again, meaning FTX, through their bankruptcy, is actively selling.